Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is Jay here, aka Mojo Sports, coming at you guys with the Collector Podcast, episode 5 here. I'm with my boy Titan underscore Grass 24, aka Ty. I met him in Dallas. He's from Southern California. What's up, man?
How you doing? How's it
Bro,
going?
bro, thank you so much for being a part of this. You represent Southern California. What up, West Coast, Best
Yes,
Coast?
sir. No doubt, no doubt. I can agree with that.
Yeah, man. So I met Ty in Dallas, and we're going to be doing it again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, no, what is it? I think I'm gonna get in the 11th. The night before it goes 12th to the 14th. All 3 days are just insane. I personally, for me, it's better than the nationals, than the one national I went to like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I think is what it was. So everyone, if you can go out, go out. It's the best show I've personally ever been to. So it's a whole lot of fun.
That's what's
I
up,
think,
man.
yeah, you too. I think, right? Did you have
Yeah,
a blast there? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, man, it was amazing. So, you're passionate. You and your dad both collect. I met you guys. What I want to know from you is like, how old were you when you started collecting?
I was about 14 years. Yeah, about 14, 15, 15, I think is what it was. 15 years old.
Wow, that's
About.
all. Like, was your dad kind of collecting before you, or did you guys start at the same time?
So he was, it's the same story with everyone. He was the gum packs with where the packs they had the gum back then. He had all that stuff, and then he got in on '03, '04 LeBron year with the SPX and stuff like that. Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome, I think is what it was. So he got back into then and bought like 2 boxes of that stuff, ripped it, pulled LeBron, sold it for dirt. Now it's worth thousands of dollars. So he kind of regrets that. So that's why we kind of got back in.
Dang. So, what year was that? You were 14. So, what year was that when you first collected? What year was that?
It was I was 15, and it was 2014 Topps Chrome.
2014 Topps Chrome. Wow.
Yeah, that's the one box that got me and my pops in. It had Odell, Jimmy Garoppolo. I think it had Devontae
Johnny
Adams too.
Manziel.
Johnny Manziel was the one guy that you kind of wanted to get, and then he ended up turning out to be one of the biggest busts we've ever seen. I think who else? Aaron Donald was in there too. It
Yeah,
just
Aaron Donald.
Odell was the one that everyone wanted to, and it was hot. Now everyone rips it to get Jimmy G, stuff like that. So looking back, I wish I kind of would have went in on some Prism or some baseball instead. But it was just kind of a fun thing at that point. Didn't really take it as seriously as we do now.
So, when you were ripping that, everyone was freaking out for OBJ.
Oh, everyone was freaking out for OBJ, and I forget the checklist, but OBJ, Jarvis Landry, and stuff like that. That was kind of the first year everyone started realizing a little bit, and then 2015, Jameis Winston and Mariota and stuff like that.
Oh,
That was kind of a rough year, but everyone wanted Winston.
was there anybody from that box break back in that like 2015 that you thought was going to be so amazing and then they ended up not panning out? Was it probably Johnny
Marcus,
Manziel?
well, 2015 was Marcus Mariota. 2014 was Odell, but I mean Odell did turn out amazing, just kind of a head case,
Yeah. So
you
Marcus
know.
Mariota, that was the guy that you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
dude, I thought he
was
was gonna be great too. He was so fun to watch at Oregon.
he honestly was pretty good for his time with the Titans. I mean, I personally I'm a Steelers fan. I'll take him on the Steelers right now, but we got a little salary cap situation going on with Ben, so we can't afford him.
Oh yeah. So your favorite teams? So who's your favorite team? You like the Steelers? You also like the Dodgers? I know you like the Dodgers, man. That's your squad.
Die hard Dodgers fan.
Dang. So since you like the Steelers, what do you think's gonna be up with Big Ben? Are you guys gonna stay with him?
I think you kind of have to. It's kind of like that whole situation with it's your dude. He's won you 2 Super Bowls, and I think he's had 5,000 yard seasons like 3 or 4 times. I mean, yeah, we haven't really won much in the past 10 years besides for the one Super Bowl. Cardinals, I think that was '09. But yeah, it's kind of been rough. I mean, Big Ben, I think we're gonna re-sign him. It just matters like how long and how. I think it's gonna be one more year, and they're gonna cut his salary down in half so that we can afford Juju. That's what it's probably gonna have to be.
Who's your favorite
Juju
player on the Steelers?
right now. I mean, I think it's probably T.J. Watt. I mean,
He's amazing.
dude's
I like him.
dude's just a game wrecker. We haven't had anyone like that since. I mean, have Palomalu. I think probably that was the last time you can come in and have a guy that can just interrupt an entire offense's game plan since Troy Palomalu. Personally, that's my take on that.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up. The guy I liked on the Steelers. I loved Jerome Bettis, but I also loved. Remember Antoine Randall L. and Hines Ward.
The pass in the Super Bowl, yeah, the
Yeah,
little end
man.
around pass.
I remember that. I used to play Madden during that time, and I always wish that was a part of the playbook. They kind of tried
Yeah,
to do it in later years, but I just always remembered that.
what do you call it? Antoine Randall, I think he played quarterback in college for a little bit too, so that's why he was able to make that throw in the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. And then Hines Ward,
Yeah.
Juju needs to take every amount of video from Hines Ward and watch what's his name watch Hines Ward because
Do you?
they're practically I think they're pretty close to the same player.
Yeah. Do you? Okay, so Juju does those dances. Like, does that bother you, or you're all? It's all in fun.
Uh, when we were 11-0, it wasn't bothering me. I was kind of embracing it when he was dancing on the logos because we were winning, and then you start losing, and then your coach doesn't say anything, and he keeps letting it happen, and we keep losing and losing and losing. He just makes himself look like a clown, you know. That's that, and so yeah. At the end of the season, I didn't like it, but if you're winning and you're doing 1,000 yard receiving or 1,000 receiving yards and like 8 touchdowns like you used to, then yeah, go ahead and do what you want.
That's what's up. So do you like PC the Dodgers and the Steelers? Do you have like specific cards that are just you consider your personal collection, or do you just like watching them?
I had personally for me, I don't really do or believe in PCs. I know a lot of people PC, but if someone wants to come up and pay me full eBay for a card that I've had for since 2017 and it's just kind of been like my favorite card and I make a ton of money on it and so I can flip it into some Bowman Chrome baseball, yeah, that's what I'll do. But if I had to PC something, I'd probably go after like Jerome Bettis Steelers stuff.
That'd be sick, dude.
Jerome Bettis, National Treasure stuff. Like the dude ran people over.
He was
He
awesome, man.
he was a different breed. He was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I
I
totally
think
get that.
yeah. You know.
Yeah, no, that's what's up. And you also like the Dodgers. We were talking about Clayton Kershaw. That's your guy, right? Love hate.
Yeah, yeah. Just Clayton Kershaw. He's given everything to that organization. He does stuff in I think he does in different countries. He does like charity work and stuff like that. I think it's called Kershaw's Challenge, trying to get everyone involved. I think he goes to underprivileged communities. I think is what it is. And I think he goes to I think he's been to Africa and stuff like that, trying to spread the love and wealth of baseball. It's the best sport there is. It's the one sport where you can be not at not like that extremely athletic and get paid 450 million like Mike Trout.
Yeah,
You know,
dude, Kershaw's community work's amazing. Like a family friend of mine, he ended up passing away from cancer. Mikey G. Kershaw actually granted his Make a Wish, and if you watch that video, it's amazing. I mean,
yeah,
Kershaw's a Christian man, and he does a lot of good community stuff. So that's cool, man. I really
yeah.
respect that, man. I actually really like that. I'm actually glad he got a ring, honestly.
Yeah, I want to get the video I was sitting in my living room, and Julio throws the second strike, and then you see Barnes set up inside, and I was like, "Oh my God, we just did it! All that pain, all that hardship, and everything, just it finally just all the bad vibes of being a Dodger fan, choking in the playoffs, this and that. It's finally gone. Now it's the Yankees' turn to back it up.
Yeah,
You know,
no, I totally get
so
that.
it's just
Um,
like yeah.
no, dude, I totally get that, man. Congratulations, man. I can't even imagine. That's a great
Thank you,
feeling
thank
right
you.
there.
That was probably a top 5 day in my life. I think some Dodger fans too that maybe they were born in '90. They haven't even seen a World Series or anything coming close to it.
Yeah, because
For
what, 88
that,
was the last one, right?
'88 was the last one.
Oral Hershiser and all those guys, Kirk Gibson.
Kirk Gibson doing the strut around the bases, broken leg
Yep,
I think is what it was, messed up leg. But yeah,
that's
no,
what's
it
up.
was this year it was just a roller coaster of emotions with the Dodgers. You had, we had we had like the same two families over in the NLCS for 5 straight games because we kept winning. So we didn't want to ruin it, and then ended up coming back. Bellinger hit the bomb. I think he hit the bomb off of Chris Martin in the bottom of the eighth. I think is what it was, and then Julio sealed it.
Yeah, dude, that's what's up. All right, let's
Hmm.
get back into the collecting talk here.
No doubt, no doubt.
Um, I personally feel this when I have this is my take. When you own the card of the player and that player performs really well, do you get that feeling when you have that card? Do you know what I'm talking about? When like
So
you get
like,
that rush that like that player like had Like it'd
Yeah,
be like Bellinger hitting 3 home runs, and you're like, oh my god, or Gavin Lux takes off, and you had invested money
yeah.
in him. Have you like what's a player where you totally went in on, and that player ended up panning out?
Um, you know what? It kind of might have been Luca. I think it might have been
Luca,
Luca.
you're
Yeah, I think
wearing
it
the
might have
Luca
been.
jersey.
Yeah, I got the Dallas Luca jersey on right
That's
now.
sick. I like that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So you
Yeah,
invested in Luca pretty early.
decently early, and then I got back in before like around November before they exploded again. Now they're kind of down a little bit right now because the team's not performing, but they're starting to surge a little bit again
Oh
because
yeah.
now they're back to where they should be around the 8 or the 9 seed. So I think they're probably going to make the playoffs.
You think
They should.
Those Lucas should go up, huh?
Yeah, I had like a whole at the first Dallas show I went to, I had like a whole rainbow of stuff. Nothing compared to Richard Hawes' rainbow. If you've seen that, he has the tiger, he has everything you can see. I think he had a white sparkle, Luca. Nothing like that, but I had like reds, green, or ruby waves, greens, ton of base,
Yeah, you had a
couple
bunch of
silvers.
Lucas. Yeah.
Sold them all out at this last show. Everyone wanted Luca at the last show.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. What's like been like a big like one of your biggest struggles to climb over while you've been collecting?
So being in college and having the pandemic and everything, it's kind of been no one's really been hiring because everything's been shut down. So having that extra amount of extra spending money you can have to keep growing your collection instead of maybe selling something you don't really want to sell just to get some cash to reinvest. That's kind of the problem. And I know a lot of people, at least in college or high school, have the same problem where they can't expand because they don't have a sourceable income. So they're just sitting there at that same amount of dollar value that they have in their collection without being able to continue to grow. So they have to hope for one of their cards to hit. So you got to be a little bit more skillful and mindful.
I totally get that. I think for me, the biggest thing that I found during this COVID thing is just balance, man. Balancing life and all the
Yeah,
sports cards and all that stuff.
that
Financially
too.
too. I get what you said. I get what you mean by like selling a card you really didn't want to sell. That's happened to me a handful of times. I
Yeah,
feel like I had
same here.
I had the Kevin Durant Chrome rookie during COVID, like the beginning before the blow up, and
Yeah.
I sold it a little too early.
Mhm.
And I wish I had it right now. But is there any card where you sold too early that you wish, or you just a card you wish you didn't sell?
Um, I've had for me, I've had a lot of cards that I sell too late, but I also I've had a couple cards that I had Juan Soto's back when they were dirt, and then I had a Trey Young Green Pulsar. It was at the height, it was probably about 15K, which is what I missed out on. It was a Trey Young Green Pulsar 9.5 Prism out of 25.
Wow.
That's what I had. So that's probably a card that I missed out on a lot of money with. But yeah, for me, my problem has been selling too late, not selling too early.
How do you know when to sell okay, so that's like a lesson to be learned right there because I think I do the same thing. Like Tatis right now on those PSA 10s is like, I'll be honest, he's like what 310 300 on the flagship, and it's like, do I sit and wait or do I cash out? And it's like, how do you know when to sell? For
Uh,
like for other collectors,
yeah,
like if you could give them advice, like how should they sell or hold? Should they take the $100 profit and put it towards something else? Like how do you decide?
profit's profit, and that's what I need to start understand is profit's profit, and not try to hold out too long on the base cards like that. You can't if you see a sudden surge from like a PWCC pump or something like that, you need to take advantage of that right then and there. I'll show you a prime example. Everyone knows what this card is. PSA 10
Oh yeah, look at
right
that.
there. That thing got up to like 8K per one, and it sat there at 8 to 6K for 2 weeks. I still have it. I held it. I thought it was going to hold out at 6K for probably 2 more weeks, maybe even a month, and now they're down to 40, about five. Now they're down to five.
Isn't
So
that crazy?
it's well, yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of market manipulation. That's what I think, and it's I'm happy that my card got pumped, but I know a lot of people don't like it because it's not true to what the hobby is. No one wants that. No one likes that because what happens when something goes extremely high goes down on at least mass produced stuff.
I
Not
think
on
I think people need to recognize that though. Take it as
no,
like a lesson. Like
yeah,
when
no, I
something's
agree.
when
Yeah,
it's
I
going
agree.
that high, dude. I knew the Trouts were gonna go down. I also knew the Lucas at 2200 in December were going down. Like It
What
was
is the pop on those?
ridiculous.
14,000 or something like that
I don't even
on the
know.
Lucas?
Luca's a pretty household player though. I mean, like the
Yeah, Luke.
Ryan
Yeah,
collection says, like dude, like 25,000 people go to Mavs home games. So I mean,
they
he's a
do. Yeah, no, Matt.
he's a staple.
He's the new face. I know people are going to be like, oh, Giannis. Of course, so you got the exiting era of Durant, LeBron, and those guys, and Chris Paul, and now you got the new era of Luca. I know people don't like Trey, but
Trey Young, dude,
Trey Young,
it's a recycle.
Devin Booker's finally going to take the mantle of one of the dudes. I think he should.
Dude, it's the recycling program exactly. Like these players
Yeah,
are the old generation. I experienced it when I was in high school. Vince Carter was, still around. Tracy McGrady, kinda. They were when Steve
yeah.
Nash was playing on the Lakers with Dwight Howard. That was it. That was my
That was
senior year
that,
in high school, and that was it. And then
that was a little rough
The
year.
guy named Damian Lillard came into the NBA my
hmm
senior year, and everyone's like, "Dude, that guy might be good in a couple years."
60th pick, I believe, right, Mr. Irrelevant? Is that what he was? 60th pick?
Isaiah Thomas too, yeah, bro.
Isaiah Thomas, yeah. I
Yeah,
think he was last pick in the draft, right? Now I know Isaiah
yeah.
Thomas was, but
Damian
Lillard
Lillard
was
was a
too, I think.
lottery pick. He was like 10th or 15th, but he came from
Oh,
a
he
small.
was?
Yeah,
Oh, it was
he
Isaiah
came from
Thomas.
a
That's what you're talking
small,
about.
small little college in Weber State. And when
Yeah,
I was in high school, everyone's like, "Dude, this guy Dame." We didn't even call him Dame. We called him Damian Lillard. Like, and it's just
yeah.
crazy. You're right, man. We're just witnessing the recycle. Also, I will say we've been blessed by 3 really good drafts. I don't know about this LaMelo Ball draft. What do you think about it?
No, no, I'm not sold. I
No
think,
offense to like the Patrick Williams and like the Devin Vassals and guys like that. I think they'll stay in the
yeah,
NBA, but I don't think we got what we got with the De'Aaron Fox, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell draft, and then
and
we
then
got Luca,
Luca,
Trey Young, and then Zion, John
DeAndre
Morant.
Ayton.
Dude,
Yeah, no, it's been loaded the past couple
I
years,
was
and then
waiting for the Anthony Bennett Otto Porter draft to hit, and I don't know if this
it
is it
never.
or the next one. I don't know.
I think. Maybe even next. I don't know what it is. I see players holding out, and I think people might start playing in the G Leagues. I know they gave you that option, so instead of going out
Yeah,
of college, you're going to go straight to G League and get
Jalen's there.
Jalen.
Jalen Green. He
Oh
was
yeah,
supposed to be really good. He's actually really good, but I don't know. He went to the G League, so I mean, you never know,
like
right?
I don't know if Bronny James is going to go to college.
Yeah.
I think he might. He might go to the G League and try to hang on to a team where LeBron is. So if he's on the Lakers, then maybe he goes to the South Bay. You know,
Well,
instead of passing up on North Carolina.
yeah. I mean, that's a possibility. I was also thinking like LeBron signed that contract for a reason because by the time his son's ready for the NBA, he could sign with whatever team.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because now they
So
can let you walk in through high school now. I think,
yeah,
can't they? Yeah,
yeah. Technically from G League, yeah, I guess they could, or they can go overseas. But
yeah.
that's yeah, that's pretty wild, dude. So I don't know.
Or,
We'll
or
see what happens.
yeah,
Like I don't know, dude. Like this Lamelo Ball draft, like it's the hype again. The hype is shifted now.
it's overproduced. It like if Panini wants to help cards out, I know they love making money, but if they want to help cards out, stop producing stuff. Stop producing stuff double of what they need to be, and the stuff will be more valuable. LaMelo Ball hoops, they'd be not double, they'd probably be up a quarter of the price, and instead of wasting every, people need to stop buying all the stuff, all the product, and Panini will finally realize that it's feeding the fire to mass produce stuff. Like
Yeah.
LaMelo Ball is the most talented player in the draft. Personally, I think a lot of people agree with that. Anthony Edwards is good, nothing
James
crazy.
Wiseman, I kind of like him.
James Wiseman, I like him. I don't like him enough to be investing my money into him
Yeah,
as of
no,
right now.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think money wise, I don't think I would throw money at. I don't really want to throw money into any of these guys, these new guys.
Neither do I. I
I would
think
rather
yeah,
backtrack and put it back into like a Luca or a Trey Young while they're in the dip than buy into this.
exactly. Yeah, if I have
It's
to put in, if I don't even know how
why
much
would I want hoops
Lamelo.
rookies?
Yeah,
The key is the shine always wears off, and no, people don't see new
exactly.
people. New people don't see that.
The shine always wears off, but the shine always wins. Technically, the shine on the prism cards, the look of the prism, the look of the hollow, the look of the national treasures, high end stuff that will always win over stuff like NBA hoops. You know what I mean? It's like baseball. Bowman Chrome baseball will always win over Topps Update and Flagship because it's been the staple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you
It's
like?
the
So
shine.
do you think flagship? Do you like flagship rookies over, or what's your favorite rookie? If you could pick one, not maybe not value, maybe like top Chrome or update. I don't know.
For baseball,
Yeah, for baseball, like what tier rookie do you like for just
Bowman Chrome.
personal? Bowman
Bowman
Chrome,
Chrome. I like the look the best. I mean, for maybe for a couple guys,
like
for
first
a couple
Bowman autos or
first Bowman Chrome autos, first Bowman Chrome color, anything numbered. See, like that's where you can go and get base. You can go and get base stuff from Tatis's Bowman Chrome here. It's like $800, I think, though, right now. But
wow.
that's because it wasn't produced so much. Like you never find Juan Soto Bowman Chrome base rookies. I don't think. Unless I'm crazy, I don't think I've ever seen one because he
I
only
think
had
it's
his
just
autos from that
autographs.
year.
Yeah, that was. I think
Yeah,
that. I think you're right.
because and that's why his stuff's so expensive is because he only has that. He has Topps Chrome Update autos and paper update color and short print stuff like that. That's all he has. So that's why like I'd prefer the more rare stuff instead of dishing out my money on a bunch of paper flagship updates. I just go and spend my money on one nice Soto that has upside.
I like what you said about profit, man, because I'm thinking about my Tatis rookie flagships. I bought at 70 per. I should just, I mean, I've been selling them for like 250 to 300, but dude, I could easily have taken that 3 grand and buy a Tatis nice autograph, or something
Yeah, well,
nice.
yeah,
And like that's the thing.
that's
I like what you said. You can't hold on to like how much do I want to hold to make an extra $100 when I could have used that 300 or 600 to buy something else? You're
yeah,
right.
no,
You're
that's
totally right.
that kind of was like at the first Dallas show or at the it was like not the first, but it was the one in November for Dallas. That was kind of like the my mindset going in was I want to consolidate. I want to have sick like nice cards that are liquid that I know that I can sell in if I needed to I mean with the way cards are going, I can probably put a down payment on a future house. That's how crazy cards are right now. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people that didn't really have that much in like 2018 can say the same thing because what they had exploded. Everything's exploded.
The grading, turning the raw cards into graded and just upgrading and upgrading and
With
upgrading.
yeah, with the PSA upcharge that's about to happen. It's I think it's about to be $400 for a 2 day for stuff like that now. It's just crazy numbers.
Do you think the PSA, because this is happening tomorrow, like you and I are
Yeah,
recording
no.
on the 28th of February, so
hmm
when you guys watch this, you're going to experience some PSA price raises. So my question to
They're
you,
yeah.
do you think now the balance in prices will start to ebb and flow a little better?
It's going to control the pop report. So you're not going to have 14,000 whatever the number is Luca PSA 10s because maybe you will actually Luca, but not Tatis because if it's the price margins that you have of making after you buy the card, you buy a paper Tatis, you get it graded. I don't know the prices of the grading. You get it graded. There's if the price fluctuates, there's not a lot of room that you have
So let's just say
left.
the
So
20-day costs 25. It would be
yeah,
if quote unquote supposedly the price is going to be doubled. So maybe it's
I think it.
39 or
Yeah,
45 a card. Honestly, I could see it being if it was 25 from people's bulk subs, I could see them charging. That's another thing, bulk subs. What are these
there's no
people
more
going to
bulk subs.
what are they going to charge now?
I People are gonna really need to start picking and choosing what they want
The
to.
money's
Yeah,
gonna be people. We're gonna have like you can't just submit your seventh year Kyle Lowry
or
base cards.
graded cards like graded cards are going to be so much more expensive personally I think because it's going to start limiting what you're going to send in so you're not going to go and send in 50 flagship Tatis and hope that 20 of or 10 or 15 of them hit because that's a hard grade you're going to need to pick and choose those 10 to 15 out of the 40 that you think are going to get tens instead of sending them all in and
Setting them
hoping
all in and getting a couple nines and tens, and oh,
yeah
I only spent $12 or $15 to get this graded. Well, now you're gonna
but it
spend
took yeah
40 to 50.
but it took a year and now I'm getting them back by baseball. Like you can't time it anymore, but it's
It's
grading
terrible.
the low end stuff's going to be done.
Yeah.
I never grade anyways because I
Do you think the
it
low
takes
end
too
stuff will
long.
carry value though at all if it's already out there or what?
If it's already out there, it's gonna I think it'll
But
go
like in
up
terms
because
of
of the grading
grading it,
prices.
yeah, that's what I
Yes,
think. Like the ebb and flow
great.
pricing. So I mean, if
Yeah,
it sucks, but it's good in a way for like the
it's good for
like.
the hobby.
Do you think the bulk
I
subs
think
are really going to be hit by this?
I think the bulk subs will and need to be hit because it's gonna start lowering pop reports on stuff. That is the one thing is gonna help control the market, and it's a start. It's you're gonna if you keep raising the prices on grading. I don't like it, but I don't, because I think it allows less people to be able to get in on this hobby because it's starting to get more expensive. For me, it ain't a hobby anymore. It's a business. You know, I think for a lot of people, it's turning into a business. It's their livelihoods. So people like Mark's cards. I'll shout him out. Mark's cards. That's my guy. I've known him for a while. Every bullpen trade fest I was at, he was at. We've always talked, trying to do some stuff potentially in the future. So stuff like him, it's going to help him, but it's going to hurt the guys that do bulk subs. You know,
Yeah. I think the
because
ebb and flow.
I
I
don't
think
think he
Marks
does.
will be those guys. Marks is great, man.
Yeah,
He'll be fine. But I
I don't
think
think I don't
I
think
do
it's going to
agree
hurt
though.
him. Yeah,
I
I
do
was going
agree
to say
though.
I
I
don't.
think
Yeah,
everything's gonna minimize. Like I think Marks will be okay. KK, my guys, like those guys are gonna be
yeah.
fine. I think some of the smaller dogs and Sports Cards Mafia, they're good too. I think some of the smaller dogs might get a little capitalized though. I think less subs will be happening there for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna. I think it's gonna not allow as much people to grow, and it's gonna allow the mainstays to grow even more. That's what I think is gonna probably happen. So it's gonna hit the guys that do subs, but I mean, just it's gonna be so hard. PSA is so backed up. EGS is so backed up
I
because
know
of
even
bulk subs. They're not,
BGS's, huh?
and I know a lot of people don't like them compared to PSA. I like Becca. I like seeing my subgrades. I like seeing my subgrades there, but they're so backed up from doing their grading just like PSA. It's so just because of bulk subs. That's what I think.
Yeah.
You hear all the big name guys. You hear all PC Sports Cards. You hear all these guys saying the reason they're so backed up is bulk subs
Yeah.
because people are getting to the stuff like this before they get to a base PSA 10 or a base flagship Tatis. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
if you submit on February 28th today to PSA, it's not getting logged in until let's just hypothetically, it's really not getting logged in until I hate to say this, but like March.
Tomorrow morning or
Like, well, no, because it'll be later. But like, if you do like a five, so here's my thing: if you do a 5 day or a 10 day with PSA, like you'll get that back in 4 to 6 weeks. But if you do
yeah.
like a 45 day or 20 day, it's not actually getting put. PSA is not even touching it or putting it on the log for
Oh
another
yeah, yeah.
month. A
No, you're
month.
right. They they I think they need to hire they need to do like a separate facility because I've been to Collectors Universe and everything. I've been to PSA. Not the I mean it's not I think they need to have a warehouse, like a giant warehouse the size of that convention center in Dallas.
I think
Maybe even two of them.
Joe Orlando did what he could with that, and I think he's still great. I think Nat Turner's gonna bring some real innovative stuff.
Yeah. I
The guy's a genius. And he's
he
brought a lot of money to the table. It's good for all of us. So I think Nat Turner is going to come in strong with some like I would imagine high end equipment. I just heard he was visiting the offices. He's a stand up guy. You guys can have him on Instagram. He has unbelievable stuff.
yeah, I think I heard some stuff about potentially AI grading, which is going to speed up the process by a ton just as long as I have no problem with it, just as long as it's perfect, just as long as my cards don't come back mislabeled and stuff like that. If it's grading perfectly, if it's able to do it, then I'm all for the AI stuff that I'm hearing about.
Yeah, it'd be more efficient and it'd be quicker. And honestly, if somebody has a bad day and they've been grading over 1,000 cards, it's like they
It's
get
good
what
they're going to start giving out nines.
they get 7.5 seconds to look at a card. It's like how much more could like what if that person's been doing it for 8 hours and they're freaking like, okay, well, you know what, fuck this, you know?
Yeah, they no, they'll if they've been doing that all day and they see one dinged corner but everything else is flawless, they're going to be like, no, f you, screw that card. You're making me do 800 cards,
Yeah, like I'm
and then
not
I'm
I'm
yeah,
not speculating, but I'm just saying like if I was in that position, like I would feel the same way. It's like after 8 hours, it's like, well,
yeah,
Dwayne Wade 7th year tops chrome, Dwayne Wade 6 year tops chrome. It's like
yeah, stuff like that, like this, just the stuff that like doesn't have a lot of margin in between it is not too high, and I think it would start to get sick. You would start to get sick and tired of doing it, so you just start handing out whatever you think.
yeah. So since we're talking about all this, what's your like biggest pet peeve in collecting, or and with that, it's like your biggest pet peeve, and also like what would you change about what's going on in the industry right now? Not even just
There's
PSA, just collecting as a
there's
whole.
there's a couple things. I don't like the sudden drives of prices up, like that we were just talking about. Like this, like I said, what was it at? 8K. Now it's all the way down to 5, maybe going down to 4. The sudden pump and dumps from groups and the weird shill bidders. I don't like that. Um, that's kind of the main thing I don't like. I don't like the yeah, actually no, I I don't have a problem with much of the stuff in this hobby. I do it because I like it. It's fun. And that's kind of the only thing that ruins it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Just
totally
seeing,
understand. I
yeah,
respect that, man. I mean,
yeah,
like it's cool that you own the trout. Like you did get a jolt feeling. Like of course I would too.
yeah,
If all of
exactly.
a sudden somebody's like these Anthony Davis PSA nines like and this is like $100 card and all of a sudden someone's
Yeah.
talking about it and it goes for 1,000. Are you telling me? I'm gonna be honest between all of us. Are you telling me I wouldn't be hyped for that? Of course, I'd take the five
Oh,
hundred
I'm
bucks and
happy. Yeah,
run.
yeah, exactly.
Like
I'm happy, but
I'm happy, but deep down it's like oh like I don't like that. It just seems sketchy. It just seems really weird.
what's worse is like when it sells for 8 grand, but there's one up for buy it now at 6.
Oh, I
That
don't
like
like that.
that's
That's the worst. The shill bidding and that
that that's
stuff.
what I yeah that's what I'm talking about. It's just the shill bidding, no
That
bueno.
stuff's different. Like that's another ball game, dude. That's terrible.
I
Um,
actually also don't like when people I'm guilty of this because I used to kind of do it a little bit, but when people slide up and say how much and we talk for 20 minutes and we're figuring something out and then I just get ghosted for like the next. I think people can relate to that. I get
oh
ghosted
yeah.
by the guy who's trying to buy the card off of me or do a
Oh my
deal for
god.
the first and I'm texting him ghost and so that's probably the only other thing I don't really like. Everything else
Back when I was on
perfect.
Instagram in like 2017 and 18, like when we'd sell like autographs and stuff, people would always like people would always freak out and be like they'd post videos. I can never sell anything on Instagram. Nobody buys on here.
It's crazy. Yeah, no, it's Instagram's an interesting place. So is Facebook. I mean, my I think my slab is kind of the way to go.
My
Personally,
slabs, yeah.
I don't have anything.
I
I
don't have
barely
anything
even
on it.
use it.
I've heard of
It's
it.
just I'm trying to. I need to get on it and because you find some good deals on my slabs like fair. I'm not like I don't want to overpay. I'm obviously if it's fair, I'm gonna buy fair, and that's what my slabs has.
I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out for sure. Um, so like, what's like your favorite part of being like the Instagram card collecting community? For me, I love like you and I. We didn't know each other, but we knew each other through
Hmm.
Instagram, and then we met, and I met your dad, and that was just
Yeah,
I loved it. I was charged up for that.
I knew
And I
of you. That's yeah. We knew of each other.
yeah, and then you meet that person like that's what he looks like. That's him. That's the guy
Hmm.
behind the Instagram with all those crazy cool cards and like I
Yeah.
love the community aspect. So like for you, like what's your favorite part about like the Instagram card collecting community?
The community I've met so many I've met so many people that I consider my friends over like my old high school friends, you know, because like I've done so many things with them. I'll shout out a couple people. I don't know if you want to put their ats above my fingers. JM Cards LA, Jake,
Jake,
AC
I
Sports
just started
Card
talking to
7.
him.
Yeah, Jake's cool. Anthony Chavez, AC Sports Card 7, Eric Mitchell. Eric's way older than me, but Eric's one of my guys, you know. Mark's cards, obviously, like just
Yeah,
those,
Kevin.
like those four. Yeah, exactly. Well, Michael, Kevin, and Michael. Yeah, and then all the people that he has within there. Just everyone's so cool. Everyone's so down to earth. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man,
I like it.
that's the thing. You surround yourself around people that you know are gonna build you up, and you're gonna build them up. And I had never met Mark's cards before, and Caviar cards until I went to
Hmm.
the Dallas show, and we're at trade night at like 1, 2 in the morning, and I'm talking to Mark's cards, and he had lost his brother, and I had lost my sister, and it just, I mean, that's such a God thing, dude. Like that we got put in each other's lives, and I told him like I want to do some community. We're gonna do some community stuff, and I'm gonna do like a day in the life and do some stuff with Mark's cards, and it's just like, dude, I never would have had that experience if I didn't go to Dallas and meet him and meet
Hmm.
all you guys, and it's just like Dallas just changed everything for me.
I'll give you another example too. Drew Weinheimer, you know him. TX
TX
Crafts
Cross
32. That's
32,
my guy. That's my guy. And you know what?
Drew, he's
You know what?
amazing.
Drew is a character over text, but he's way different in person. I actually got into it with him over text like a year ago when I didn't even know him, and then I met him in person. Now I text him on Snapchat. He's the homie now. You
Oh
know, it's
yeah,
just meeting someone in person over actually texting. You know, some people can come off weird. I can come off like rude, and then you meet them in person, and now you're really good friends with them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing about text is there's so much miscommunication, but then you meet the people and you're
Exactly.
like, dude, this guy's not just posting Mike Trout's blue chrome. He's like a nice guy. This is Titan Grass, you know? He's like
Hmm.
huge Dodgers fan and he's freaking hustling hard, you know? And you set up at
Yeah,
a table. You set up. Like, that was so cool.
yeah, no, you start to like get to relate to people, and then you start finding things that you like have in common, and then you actually start connecting with people, and then you end up having lifelong friends. That's just how it is.
Yeah, no, totally, dude. That's amazing. So, here's my next thing. There's a lot of new collectors coming in here, and some of them are a little lost, you know, and some of them are just trying to learn. So they learn from us, you know, people that have been doing it for a
Hmm.
minute. And if you could give advice to like one collector who has no idea like what they're doing in collecting, what would you give them? Like, what tools would you start them out with?
So I tools would be other people around you. That's another thing. So if I got a brand new guy that doesn't know anything, he's gonna go to me. He's gonna go to the Sappies. He's gonna go to the Michael Carters, the Kyle Sturgeons, the Lane, LJK Cards. I know you had him, the Adam Rips. You had him on too. They're gonna go to those guys, and they'll give you everything. You know what I mean? Also, don't buy into the hype, because you see what happens when you buy into the hype with the Luca base tens. Now they're down to, what are they down to, 1,200? People bought into the hype at 2,200. Don't buy into the hype.
2200,
If if
18,
if if
1800, 1600.
if yeah, previously just kept going down $200. If you need to sell off an arm and a leg just to get into the hype, don't do it. That's my thing. If you need to sell off an arm and a leg of your collection just to get into hype, do not do it.
No,
That's my advice.
dude, I totally respect that. Dude, we were all. I was new once. I've made some terrible purchases. I bought some crap. You know,
Yep.
I've invested in players that I was just like, oh my god, like franchise quarterback Drew Lock, gonna be a great quarterback. You know, everything's great. I don't
Yeah.
mind
No.
spending $500 to $1,000 on this guy. You know, and I still think he's gonna be okay. But I had to learn that lesson, man.
Yeah, no, for me, I think, yeah, just like 2 shows ago, it just, I don't know, for some reason, but those veteran autos of like National Treasures don't sell well, even though they're the sickest cards I've ever seen. Like, I bought a Joe Montana, Aaron Rodgers duel out of 5 or 10 or whatever it was. Kind of, obviously, everyone, we were drinking at the show, so kind of had a little bit of a lack of, what's the word?
Judgment or nah?
Judgment, lack of
Yeah.
judgment. And I was like, I like that card. I'm gonna buy it. When I could have used that money to go get like a Juan Soto Bowman Chrome auto, which doubled in price since the last show.
Drew was gonna sell me a Tatis blue chrome autograph, for number to 150 at PSA 10 for $2,600, and I did not buy it. He tried to sell it to me 4 times in a 20-minute span, you know, at
Yeah,
trade
no,
night, and I told him no, I don't, and I was like maybe I'll think about it, and I grabbed it, and that card went for 5,500 the other night.
yeah, that's wait. Oh, the true blue or blue wave.
The true blue.
Oh wow.
It's just
Yeah,
like
no,
it was the Topps Chrome Auto, but that's like a $5,500 card, and it's like that was my first show, dude. Like if I would have
I
done it differently,
yeah, I had one guy came up to me. Dude was loaded, came up and said, "How much for you two?" It was at my first. It was in November at the Dallas show. He said, "How much for your two True Gem Plus One Soto Bowman Chrome autos?" They were at like 2,500 a piece, I think, back then. Now they're at 6 grand.
wow,
I said, I had True Gem Pluses too, and he said, "I'll give you 5,000 cash right now." I think I more than doubled my money from what I got him for, so I was like, "Deal, go ahead, yes, let's do it." Now they're 6,000 piece,
damn.
or five, whatever they're at right now. Like, it's
But
just
yeah, I mean it's
mistakes.
just like that. But next time it happens, you'll know, or you'll just learn,
Exactly.
or you'll sell something not as important to your collection, and you'll just use
Yeah.
that money
No.
for something else, you know. And it's like
You
I
live.
don't know,
Yeah.
that's a
You
cool
live and
feeling.
yeah. You live and you learn. That's another thing. You learn. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose deals. You're gonna overpay. You're gonna hit it big sometimes. That's just kind of that's how it is. That's like kind of like the stock market. You're gonna lose money. Tesla, it's gonna tank, but then it's gonna go extremely back up. Exactly, kind of like how Bitcoin's doing right now. It was at, what was that, like 58 the other day or something like that. Now it's at 44,
Yeah.
44K. Like, I'm not into all that. I'm just kind of using that as an example.
It's crazy though, because some people that are like really into stocks, they could say, "Oh, Amazon's at $500 and Apple's at 300," and I'm just talking about, "Oh, Luca's at 1,000 now, but he was at 1,800," and it's just
Yeah,
I don't know, it's fun to like actually have something to hold that's literally like a stock or like quote unquote piece of art.
yeah, exactly.
So I
More
mean,
fun than
that's
stocks.
do you have like a card or an autograph that you just won't sell? Like it's an absolute just like no deal, like no price on it.
Nope. Also,
Everything's got a
there's
price.
everything. Just like I know this is gonna sound weird and biased, but it's cardboard. I love doing this stuff, but keep in mind it is cardboard, and it's once the stuff starts getting mass produced, which it is kind of already. Again, we saw what happened. So everything has a price. As much as I don't want to move something, you know, it just everything has. Yeah, I got some pieces of memorabilia that don't really have a price, but it's just I kind of I'll sell anything if someone comes up and is willing to pay me good money for it.
All right, I respect it. If I gave you $10,000 to invest in sports cards, I would give it to you. It's all yours, Ty. What are you gonna buy?
Interesting. Uh, I'm gonna stay away from base prism, base Bowman, base update stuff like that. I'm gonna go. Prospecting's coming back. Prospecting's coming back. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go into I'm gonna go into baseball prospects or Juan Soto. Actually, probably not Juan Soto because I think he might have capped out a little bit. I'd probably go get some more Trout stuff and I'd more Bobby Witt, Jared Kelenic type stuff. That's what I'd go if you gave me 10 grand today. That's what I'd go buy. All Bowman Chrome. That's what I because I think that's what has the most upside. Trout, if he makes the playoffs, his stuff's gonna go.
I know, man. I know you're a Dodgers fan, but I love Trout, and I actually would love to see him make the playoffs.
So would I.
It'd be good for baseball.
It would.
But yeah, no, I totally get that. Okay, so now let's think about this. I was thinking about this, and I had forgotten to ask it earlier. Soto, Acuna, or Tatis in order. What role would you take them as dominant?
A year ago, before the pandemic season, before the race to 60, Acuna would have been number one for me. But
Wow.
then I think he showed his true colors. Like I'll give you like an explanation of what I think of each player. Strikes out. Acuna strikes out too much. Acuna is the most gifted out of all the three, personally for me. I think he has the best tools. I think he is the most complete five-tool player, even over Tatis. But he plays right field, so it's not a premier position. Tatis, shortstop, one of
He
the
has some
most.
highlights.
Yeah, he has some highlights. He's flashy. He gives you the flair. He had just what did he get 340 over 14 years recently. He gives you everything basically, and he plays shortstop. So, but Soto is the best hitter in the game right now. I don't care what people say about Mike Trout. Soto, if you give him his hot zones are 1 through 9, all zones of the all the strike zones. I think he's the guy that has a chance to hit 400. So for me, bat over everything. Soto, Tatis, Acuna. But a year and a half ago, it would have been Acuna, Soto, Tatis.
I respect it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Dang, you got me
So,
thinking about Soto now.
Soto. The only thing about Soto is Soto doesn't have necessarily the arm the other guys have. He doesn't have the defense. He doesn't have the wheels. As you see, he's kind of bigger, and he put on like 15 pounds of muscle this offseason, so he's not going to be able to run. But that dude can flat out rake. I just everything about him. They all got the flair too. They all have flair and they all have
Yeah.
flash. So baseball's in
Baseball's
really good arms
exciting,
right
man.
now.
This is so exciting. I know,
Ba-
man.
ba-
This
baseball
is good stuff.
baseball's in good arms. Just
Yeah.
good. It's baseball is in good arms. If those guys continue to go, if the Astros keep going down, because I think that's what everyone in baseball wants to see. If the Dodgers, one thing I need to say though is they need to put a salary cap in. That's the only way baseball is gonna be able to give you a fair chance of winning it. Like have like the Nationals or the Royals or one of those teams come in and win it like they did. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally get
Instead of a
that.
luxury tax, because the Dodgers, if they pay the luxury tax, Magic Johnson will just or Cast and all the guys will just pull out money and pay it like it's nothing.
I totally get that. All right, so we're gonna. This is like the final hoorah right here. Last
All right.
couple questions. Actually, kind of my last thing. You and I are going to Dallas in 2 weeks. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited. March 11th through the 14th. I think I'm going the 10th through the
Mm-hmm.
15th. I think Drew
Okay.
and NorCal Graphs and TX Graphs 32. I think we're going a little early. Well, Drew's already there, but
Yeah.
The theme, okay, so the theme I noticed at the Dallas show, the last one I went to, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. I had a great time, but I was overwhelmed.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah, it was so fun. It took me the first like probably 2 hours I was there. I was just like so overwhelmed. But the theme, it seemed like baseball would have been a good buy at that show, dude. And I missed the freaking boat, dude. I
Hmm.
regret it so bad. I'm cringing in my head right now, but I should have bought the baseball stuff. There was just such good prices, and now it's like all the stuff doubled. At this
Yep.
show, I don't know. I'm speculating, but is football going to be a good buy since it's out of season?
So football, I think people aren't gonna give credit and what's credit's due to running backs and receivers. I think that's everyone's given up on those guys. Running backs and receivers, defense doesn't sell. Quarterbacks is what everyone's going to be buying. Mahomes, obviously, I think the Chiefs are a lock to win it next year. Mahomes has a little redemption tour after running for over 500 yards in that Super Bowl, trying to getting chased away from defensive linemen. So Mahomes, Herbert, you'll see some new guy. I think maybe even when Trevor Lawrence, when he gets drafted and his stuff's going to be stupid expensive.
Do you
So
think
I
he's
think
going to be good?
quarterbacks. I think he's going to be pretty good. Yeah, I really do. I'm convinced. And even if Jacksonville's offense is a little bit better than people give it credit for, they need an O line though. So
Yeah.
I think
So
he's
you
going
think
to.
at the show you're setting up at the show, like what do you think is going to be the buy? Probably football because
So
basketball and baseball are going to be expensive, right?
so quarterbacks are going to be the by Mahomes, Herbert, Burrow, those guys, etc. I think Burrow's a buy. I'm a Steelers fan. Joe Burrow's legit. He's the real deal. So those guys obviously Brady too, big money Brady. Baseball wise, it's going to be the certain prospects that have showed out so far and that haven't gotten demoted and like looking like they still got a chance. Because the longer you stay, the better you're playing, the higher chance you have of being on the opening day roster. A guy like Jared Kelenic, if he absolutely rakes and forces their hand, he's going to stay and he's going to be on the opening day roster. So prospects, I think, based off of the last show, because I don't think it's going to change. Prospects, baseball, guys that are going to get into the playoffs for basketball. So Luca, Zion, those types of guys, if they get in, they're going to keep going. That's going to be a buy. All
Zion's. I think Zion's a buy if they make the playoffs. But if he doesn't make the playoffs, then it's a waste. But
it's going to tank. Yeah.
do you think Zion's low though? Do you think that he's a buy?
Personally, for me, I like watching him play. I don't want to invest my money in him. I'd
That's exact.
rather, and I know
Yeah.
people. I know people like him, and I know Ja is somewhat struggling right now. But I like Ja. I like Ja. I like the way he plays better than Zion. I don't like the
Jaw's kind of undervalued too, right?
all those guys. All those guys went from being super high and overpriced to now undervalued because the market reset and the market reset to what it should be with the base stuff. Now that what base stuff for 500 bucks I think right now for a PSA 10 Ja. I could be wrong. I don't know,
Hey, I'm
but
telling you, I think you nailed it though. Once the playoffs cook, if you have the right players, I do think those are going to go up.
see if but there's one player that if he would have made the All Star game, it would have made it interesting. Shea or Shy, however you say it. I say Shea. So he's a stud. He proved it because he's having to carry the team on his back. But I think they're far out in the playoff. What are they 14th right
They
now or
they
something
have
like
like
that?
they have like 7 first round picks. Those two
They're
Shays I
fine.
posted, I
Yeah.
bought them for 1 grand, dude. In my opinion, like I'm gonna hold those long term. Like
Hold those. No, yeah, no.
yeah, he's gonna be
I don't think
fine.
they're gonna. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna use those. To be honest, I think
You think they're gonna trade him and get some
they're gonna
assets?
all be there because you see the way Shea's playing right now. He is the real deal. So I think those assets are gonna get traded, and they're gonna try to bring back a little OKC Magic Part Two.
That'd
Maybe
be
give him a little.
sick.
Maybe give him a little bit of help because the fans in OKC are one of the best fans in basketball, as you saw
Do you remember
during
those
playoff.
Durant years, man?
Yeah, that was fun.
That
That
was
was fun to
fun,
watch.
man. I
The
was in
big
high
three.
school, man, watching them play against LeBron too. Those were the dude. I was in high school. Those were good times, man.
No, I had a Durant jersey and everything. I like Durant still. I don't hate him as much as
I don't hate him
a lot of
either.
people do. It's just yeah. I mean, he could have went to another team besides for the best team in the NBA already and made them even more loaded. But Durant, he's one of the greats I'll ever watch. So
And
I
he's
like him.
humble, man. I respect him. I don't know. I like him. A lot of people hated on him. I think he's a great guy.
I agree. I agree.
Um, what's the I was gonna ask you this. What's the deal with Gavin Lux before we end this? Gavin Lux, he's really cheap. Is he good? Is he gonna
He
play?
he is probably going to start at second base if he hits good enough in spring training. It's his. The job's his, and then you'll have Chris Taylor bouncing around at multiple positions, giving guys off days because it's a 162 game season. It's a normal season, so everyone's going to be tired. You're going to need depth. So I think Gavin Lux has a chance to step up. If he steps up and fills out second base spot where Kike was, Kike and Taylor they platooned. I think he's I think he's got a chance to be a pretty good buy.
That's pretty
He's on the
cool.
Dodgers too, big market team. So as
Yeah,
long as
he's cheap, man.
that's another thing for me is buy big market teams, whatever, no matter what, without people looking at like you go to Bowman Breaks, the Dodgers, the Yankees, those guys, Cardinals, all those teams are always they always are pretty decently expensive,
Yeah,
and they may not even have the best guys from that year. It's just
just
big
big
market guys
market.
sell, big market, and if they come onto the big stage and like a guy like Keibert Ruiz, he's not on the Dodgers. He's nothing crazy. He's a catcher. Came on and hit a bomb his first game against the Angels, first at bat, I think, and his stuff went crazy for like 3 days straight. You know, but
Yeah,
Gavin Lux, I think he's. I'm not going to be buying him just because I got like a certain big three who I'm going after, and I think I probably already stated them. But Gavin Lux, if you can afford him, it's pretty good. It's a good buy right now.
that's what's up, man. Yeah,
His baseball and chrome autos right now are pretty dirt cheap. I think
yeah. And if he gets
like
once he
150
gets the
bucks.
shot, I mean they'll go up, and then you and I in 6 months you'll all look at this, and when I don't have one, I'll think, damn it, I should have listened to Ty.
Exactly. So now that I'm even talking about it, if I can go get a base or blues were at like 3 grand before. Or, no, I think it was golds. I know golds were at like 3 grand
Yeah,
before.
golds. I think golds in there was another one that was at 2.5 3 grand.
Blues were pretty expensive too. Now blues, I think they might be under a grand. Like, see, I'm just thinking of that on the fly. I don't
Somebody
know.
was
I
selling
think that
PSA nines of him at the show for $15.
really.
The flagship rookies, yeah. They're just trying to get rid of
See,
them.
yeah, they just want to consolidate a little bit,
Yeah,
But yeah, he's a good buy.
that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
Hey, so Ty, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. You can find him on Instagram at Titan_grass24. And Ty, I want to thank you so much for your time, man. This was awesome. Thank you.
yeah. No, thank you for having me on. It was a good time. Good time to talk about sports. Got nothing else to do right now on a Sunday. It's pretty good.
That's a good Sunday right there, man. So thanks, guys,
Exactly.
for listening to the podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Mojo Autographs, and you can find Ty on Instagram at Titan_grass24. And we will see you guys in Dallas in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
Peace.